Last week, we hit the sandy trails of the Mallee, got lost in a maze and watched the show in style. This week, we cruise along the Murray enjoying the scenery and trails of Kings Billabong. We visit Wentworth to tackle the Perry Sandhills and get locked up at the old jail. We breathe the fumes and hear the roar of the Mildura Speedway. And we make a break into New South Wales for Mungo and the Outback. Welcome to your 4x4 and part 3 of exploring Mildura and beyond.
Your 4x4 is presented by Austrac Campers, Trek Hardware 4x4, ARB 4x4 Accessories, Clearview Accessories, Piranha, Nava, My Coolman, Cooper and Boss Aluminium.
Today we just wanted some different scenery and some different terrains. Simon asked me, being a local, did I know anywhere that was a little bit different to the first 3 days of filming. Psyche Pumps is really well known, has some beautiful tracks.
15 minutes once again from centre of town. Nice and dusty, and we decided to try out some of the little tracks and ruts that were left there from the wet season.
Could see where guys have got bogged before and there were a lot of big holes, and coming here when they've had a fair bit of rain will certainly be very challenging.
We found some neat little tracks, really undulated, just gave a little bit of a test to all the vehicles.
Good to get out here and just have a bit of a run through some of those ruts and see some of the guys with the bigger vehicles, kind of challenging them with flex and crossing over the rut. We've put the trucks into a few of the ruts that were down here today and got them up on wheels and back some stuck inside in bogs. A little spot that you'd really want to come down and have a look if you're in Mildura.
But more so just interesting to drive along the side of the Murray River.
Beautiful waterway, very nice and cool under the trees, plenty of traffic through here.
Got a lot of people four-wheel driving behind us. I can even hear boats in the distance.
There's a lot of vehicles with mountain bikes on them, so I'd say there's a few trails.
We're here on the weekend. There's ski boats, wake boats, everyone's out there. It's a really, really great spot.
Beautiful spot, nice and peaceful. Birds you can hear in the background.
Beautiful scenery through there and a couple of little nice spots where you can go down, have a picnic or just sit under the tree and relax and look at the water. Or you could do what poor old Dave's doing and lay under your car and fix it.
After a morning of playing, Dave decided that the 6x6 needed a quick wheel alignment. So we got to work, spinning the spanners and straightening a few things out. Next up, we're heading for a change of pace and a river experience with a difference. But first, it was time to say goodbye to Jake Smith.
Unfortunately, this is my last day. We've got Matty Ingram coming from Nava.
Jake and I have decided to split this trip in half. I came up late last night, he's headed home this morning, and we've done the changeover.
What a fantastic experience taking yourself back into the olden days. We got to get onto one of the steamboats that went up and down the Murray.
We went out for a nice, really long 2-hour cruise and got some great history on the Murray and how the paddle steamers evolved in that time.
My name is Angus, captain of the paddle vessel Rothbury. That's the boat we're on today, and we're at Mildura, Victoria. The boat we're on is the Rothbury, originally built in 1881 at a place known as Gunbower along the Murray, originally employed in towing barges for the wool and logging trade. Been here since I was 17, 3 years now. The best part's meeting new people and teaching them a few things here and there about the boats and telling them the history.
The boat retains a lot of its heritage. It's quite good to walk around the boat, have a look up and just see the old rivets in the steel.
The river is a hero product for us. It's not until you actually get to Mildura and you see how wide it is that you actually appreciate the true vastness of the Murray and what it has to offer.
Something I've never done before on a paddle steamer, which was really great to actually be able to experience how those old locks work.
Going through the lock was first time experience for a lot of people. We drive in at the certain level, same level as the weir, into the lock, pumps all the water out the other side to the level that the weir is holding back, and away we go. Very leisurely cruise and a great eye-opener for those who haven't been through a lock before.
Beautiful to sit there. We had a couple of hours. It was a bit of a rest day for us, so we just had our leisure.
After we had been in all this dry area, it was nice to go along the river and see the birds, see the nature life.
Up and down the Murray and surrounding rivers for the last 10 or 15 years, wakeboarding, fishing, all that type of stuff, but I've never once stepped foot on a paddle steamer, so it was really, really cool to be able to jump on there and just cruise down the river.
Fosses Gin Emporium in Mildura. They make a fantastic range of gins and whiskies and rums.
We're on the banks of the beautiful Murray River. We make whiskey, gin, rum, moonshine, essentially the 4 food groups, you know. We make it all in-house. Pretty much everything we make is made from everything within about a 50-kilometre radius from here. We're in a beautiful old building called the Settlers. So back in the day, it's about 120 years old. It was a men's-only club for the better part of 100 years. I bought it about 5 years ago. We leased some of it out, but we took the opportunity to put a nice little still in this little area behind here. It's not a bad place to hang out.
We were very lucky to get hosted there and taken in and get some samples, and all of us went away with a lot of shopping, that's for sure.
As you can see, I'm loading up for the night. No, just kidding.
I was designated driver yesterday, so I wasn't tasting anything, but I saw the smiles on everyone else's faces, so I could tell that it was pretty good. Everyone was enjoying themselves, which was awesome, so definitely go back if I'm in the area.
If you are in Mildura or you're thinking about travelling anywhere in Australia, jump in your car, go for a drive, come and see us. Enjoy what we've got here. It's not such a bad place to hang out. I really look forward to seeing you when you come here next.
Once we finish up here, we head off straight to Mildura Speedway. Looking forward to some entertainment and a good feed tonight.
Pretty good to see after being in Melbourne for a while and, you know, the COVID situation. It was good to get out to a place where the crowd was able to interact and everyone was there.
We've got round number 5 of the Sprint Car All-Star Series here tonight, which is really fantastic. We hold 3 rounds here. We actually hold the first, the middle and the last round. We've got a really strong field of 20 cars here tonight for the Sprint Cars, so they'll put on a massive show. Also, we've got 30 street stocks here tonight for their feature for the year. Support from the modified sedans and the juniors as well. It's going to be pretty hard and fast tonight. The track should be pretty primo, so there's going to be some really close racing.
Visit Mildura, and Brad from Monaghan Truck and Trailers has organised a ripper plan for tonight. We're pretty excited because we haven't been told what it is, but yeah, it's not far away.
So to finish off today, I've planned something really special for the guys. It's probably going to be a little bit against the norm of what they're used to, but I think it's going to be a great way to finish up. I'm excited, the venue's excited, and we can't wait.
You've got a special guest in there as well.
We've got Maria down there from Fossey Aluminium. She's one of our screamers, so she's a good person to have a camera on in a vehicle. Let's hope that is some speed and get it sideways.
Come on, Maria!
First 3 laps, I was like, oh, geez, not going very fast. Is this going to be it? And then literally put his foot down and it was like, hold the belt and scream your head off. But look, it was awesome. It was the best experience.
Thank you very much for coming up here, Simon. Best of luck and enjoy your very first Speedway experience here at Mildura Speedway.
Awesome, lovely. Thank you guys. Great to be here. Great to be guests. And yeah, let's wrap it up.
So we had to jump into the whole race gear, put the helmet on and the gloves. Unfortunately, his car caught a little bit of fire and we had to stop. But it was amazing. Got my heart beating. Oh my God!
We're get out and support your regional communities. Mildura have done everything they can for us, a small little TV production that produced a four-wheel drive show. They've treated us like we're absolute royalty and really looked after us inside in town.
Come to the track, come and get involved in it. You can come in, you can talk to the drivers and check out what it's all about.
After a night of fun at the Speedway, the crew started their morning in Golgol, just across the New South Wales border at the River Gardens Holiday Park.
We're located on the New South Wales side of Mildura, probably the most southern point in New South Wales to the Victorian border, right on the Murray River. The Murray River is a huge draw card for this area. Our park attracts a lot of water skiers, caravanners, and it is our main travelling route from Sydney through to Adelaide. We've got about 56 powered sites, some of those en suites. If anyone's thinking about coming down this way, exploring the Murray River and the national parks, call in the River Gardens in Golgol and explore the area. Look forward to seeing you.
Well, we've just rocked up here at the Perry Sand Dunes and the kids are straight into it.
And we're about to go sliding down the side of a boiling hot sand dune.
And I'm looking forward to give it a go to come down on the little surfboard.
And if you bring along a sandboard, that could just be a boogie board like we've got here today, head up the hills and have a little bit of fun.
I'll have a lot of fun watching these clowns get up there and then come down, and hopefully no broken bones.
It's great coming down, but getting up is a killer. I tell you, I can feel it in my throat, feel it in my calves, but definitely worth the trip up there.
The surrounding smaller towns of the region have also been significantly hit. Wentworth has suffered significantly across that Christmas period, and that meant significant impacts on their economy. Now we've got a chance to bring them back here to show what we have to offer.
Dropped into the Wentworth jail today.
Historically significant to this area and a fantastic tourist attraction.
It was great to see the history there and be able to experience kind of what it would have been like 120 years ago and what they went through and the conditions they lived in.
So there are only 2 cells made for women prisoners, and at some points there were 14 women crammed into just these 2 cells.
There's 2 things I'm fearful in life, and one is more education inside in a school premises, and funny enough that's what the jail was turned into in later years, which is a school. I often thought as a young fella sitting inside in school I was in jail, so there's a funny parallel there between the 2 of them.
I guess it would have been a pretty strict curriculum. A serious naughty corner there.
The teachers wouldn't have had to do too much. Just take them out, show them the cells, show them the whipping post. Those kids would have been kept in line pretty bloody well.
The museum was very interesting.
To listen to all the historical features and all the different countries and all that type of stuff.
My grandfather served in World War II throughout the service. He was an airline pilot before the war, and World War II, like a lot of the locals, cattle farmers all got drafted in and were sent over to do service.
And I heard a story through the radio of a Japanese warboat sank a US Navy boat, the Solomon Islands, who sent out some canoes to rescue the people. And the most amazing thing was that one of those 11 was JFK.
It's actually fascinating. The gear they've got in there and the stuff that's been donated by people, it's all part of history and part of their families' histories.
We've got the Marching Matilda experience, which was installed.
The audio, the way they've set it up, it's like a little iPhone. You just point to a section, it then gives you the narrative of the story. It's actually fascinating. You can pick and choose what you want to listen to.
We were just happening to be in Mildura yesterday when Jonathan Oliver, who runs our ARB Broken Hill store, see the Lynx truck parked out the front, so he popped his head in and said g'day. Let us know that he actually had a property down here on the riverfront.
Today we're currently in Pomona, which is approximately 12 k's out of Wentworth. This is my property. I've actually invited Simon and the crew from 4 Drive TV to come out.
We dropped in there, a beautiful 1.5 acre block with absolute river frontage, underneath some beautiful gum trees. We went for a bit of a swim with the kids.
We enjoyed our time there. We brought out our fridge, had all the cold drinks and food in there to cater for everyone.
There is a vineyard for wine grapes. Back at the back is a bit of an apricot orchard.
It is glorious, beautiful underneath the gum trees. You sit back, have a relax, had a nice hot pie for lunch, which sounds silly in this weather, but I did enjoy it.
It was pretty difficult to actually get out of there, to be honest.
With our day almost done, a smashed windscreen in our Iveco brought a new challenge. Delay our journey north by a few days, or as the case turned out, find a replacement vehicle and push on. Fortunately for us, our local mate Brad had a spare Ranger ready to roll.
Even if I'm travelling through Mildura, I would have never thought to come and find this place. Come down here to the Murray-Darling Junction, and what an awesome spot.
Climb up on that tower and you've got one spectacular view of the Murray-Darling Junction.
Now this area holds a rich Indigenous history stretching back around 50,000 years. But of recent times, the Darling River has been facing quite a bit of controversy. Now to learn more about the rich cultural history and those recent political issues, let's head north today to Mungo and Talano Station.
The natural geography around us is significant. There are great opportunities for four-wheel driving, for getting out and visiting historic landscapes like Mungo National Park.
We've gone from a fruit bowl to some really harsh arid conditions.
Very soon the terrain changed from all the lush agriculture areas around the Murray, and it became a lot of dry scrubland, a lot of mallee trees.
Jeff, have you been out this way before?
No, I haven't, Simon. I've been to Mildura, as you know, a few times, but haven't ventured out into this area, unfortunately. It's quite a surprise.
Very quickly, you go from bitumen to dirt.
Pretty interesting to see some of the countryside out that way though. Lots of really dead flat plains, lots of dead straight roads.
The roads were actually pretty rough for outback roads. I mean, they're just lots of corrugations, really dusty.
Going there was whatever, 85, 90 an hour. The car did well. It was a bit of fun.
Got to keep your protein up while you're on the road. Thanks, Chief.
Right now.
Typical outback New South Wales, dusty roads, pretty rough roads. What's your recommendation for tyre pressure when touring through areas like this?
Well, a little bit like we had on the roads this morning with corrugations and so forth, and travelling, you know, that 80 to 90 kilometres an hour.
I was running around about 26 psi just to soften the blow from those rocks to save any fractures in the tyres, because that's where you end up getting issues.
And what people don't realise is that that really allows your suspension to do the work it's supposed to do and not overload your suspension, but it also helps you getting up on some speed to actually cope with the harmonics of those corrugations.
Yeah, correct, and it's amazing the difference. People who have never done it before, when they do drop their tyre pressures, they do make comment that they can't believe how much more comfortable the ride is and how much easier it is on the vehicle also.
We transited to Mungo National Park with Phil as our tour guide.
I'm Phil Stone from Discover Mildura Tours. We're actually here at Mungo National Park in New South Wales, just the other side of Mildura, and 110 kilometres out from Mildura you'll find these lakes.
It's a really sacred spot. The Aboriginals in history had a sacred creek that used to come in here and feed all these lakes. There's 5 lakes in total. Mungo is just here behind us.
I can see it. Part of from here, and oh, look at the sand hills over the back there. That is magic.
Didn't know what to expect, and it's really awesome.
Oh, over there. Googled, it looks beautiful.
So we went to the lookout at Mungo National Park and we could see what they call the walls of China from there. It's like a mirage creating this wall, appears to be straight up and down.
Driving in, it almost looks like the ocean. When you get closer, you can tell it's not.
Hasn't had water inside the lake in about 18,000 years.
Be a good opportunity to put the boat in before it gets too high.
I would say it's a very rough country. You can only imagine how it was when people lived here thousands of years ago. They had some water, obviously, but still to live here in that environment and survive, it is pretty rough.
With the sun beating down and many kilometres ahead, the convoy saddled up and hit the road. Join us next week as we continue further into Mungo National Park and explore Tolano Station.